Hello, guys.
We may or not have been warming up our own conversation.
We may or may not
before we
cut it in totally ad hoc. We'll see.
Okay, so we're going to start calling the opening of our show Vertical Download, where Natalie and I each discuss our week or 2 weeks or whatever's happening in our vertical lives.
Yeah.
As opposed to our horizontal lives.
Yeah, our horizontal lives are not as interesting most of the time.
Really
And they are
not.
not for this podcast.
TMI. All right. So first of all, we're going to start with the big news, which is that Natalie won the Apollo Award for Swipe Left.
You guys, what a crazy journey. I was so fortunate that Snow Story came on and John Lewis came on, and they packaged this thing with some of the best actors in the game, and they really just elevated it and made it so fun and so terrific. And I'm so proud of this project. I'm most excited about winning this Apollo Award because I feel like we did something different with this, and I'm really excited about the new opportunities for different storytelling in this medium. And I'm so thrilled for everybody who won that night, because I feel like everybody was recognized for doing something different and inventive and innovative, and that was the whole intention of the Apollo Awards. And my hope is that this just continues to grow and evolve, and that there will be opportunities to tell stories for different audiences and different genres, and that we keep pushing this forward together, and that we keep doing cool and interesting stuff. And I really want to thank Dana for giving me this recognition and for giving all of us this recognition, because it just means the world to us. We all put so much work into these projects. They are so fast-paced and so labor-intensive, and these people all deserve recognition for like creative brilliance in a very concise amount of time. So thank you to Dana, and thank you to everybody who put those awards on, and congratulations to everybody who won. It was all very well deserved.
Amazing. So happy. And listeners, there is construction going on outside.
And
so
hopefully
if you're
you can't
hearing
hear it.
anything through the microphones,
We're sorry.
We're sorry. They're working on a fence.
So,
But yes, I'm so happy for you, Natalie. So well deserved. And I think it's just, it's just showing where this world is going and the potential in it. And, your script did new things and broke new ground. And we're all so excited for you.
thank you.
everyone.
And I'm just excited to keep going with everybody that I've met on this journey, because it's just been so wonderful.
There.
So Allison has some really exciting news, because she has both her second and third vertical in production right
Yes.
now.
I think the second one finished and then the third one is in. Yes.
Pre-production right now.
Something like that.
And one of them is an original idea with horses.
Yeah.
And I'm not. The other one is, it's the humiliation bank.
Yeah. That's the humiliation.
It's finally done.
By the way, I'm so glad I had to figure that trope out, because now I get it. Like there was really no better way to learn how to do some of these tropes than to just dive in and figure it out. But yes, the equestrian script was funny, because I wrote that as a Steam sample in November, never expecting anyone to make it, because horses are not budget friendly.
By the way, that's how I felt about Swipe Left too. I wrote a lot of explosions in there that they could not accommodate. And when I submitted it, I was like, how are we doing this? And they were like, well, figure it out.
Yeah.
And they kind of did, yeah.
Which, by the way, a lot of this stuff, that is where AI is going to be helpful.
Right.
But yeah, so I wrote it, and then when Love Score went out, my drama did well. When Love Score did well, my drama said, what else do you have? And the only thing I had was this equestrian sample. So I sent it to them, and then they said, okay, we'll make it. So I was never expecting it to get made, and it did. And again, it got shaped. I changed along the way, but anyway, it went into production, and I really wanted to go to the set. I did, and I didn't want to go to the set. And I will tell you that when I'm sitting alone I write. I don't have an office, but when my son's at school, I use his desk as my office. So when I'm writing at home in my son's room, it's words on a page, right? And it's in my head, and all these things are working. I found it very intimidating to go to the set.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really surprised, but I was surprised by how terrified I was to be on a set that is happening because of something that spilled out of my brain. It was very nerve-wracking. First of all, I loved being on the set because there were horses, and it was amazing to be around horses, because it always is. But the first thing that happens is the lead actor came running up to me and just told me how wonderful he loved the script.
Aww.
He loved being around horses, and that was worse, right? I was like, oh God, everybody is happy. And then I don't know. It just triggered all the insecurities. All the insecurities
Well,
came out in me.
can you talk about like what those insecurities were and how you alleviated them?
Well, I'm sure it's sort of like imposter syndrome. Like, oh my God, all these people are here, and they don't know that I don't know what I'm doing.
No,
I
yeah.
think it's probably what's at the heart of it.
Right.
But I think this is great for all of us to go through because this is all part of our learning experience right now in this world, especially for those of us who, like my dream has been to call myself a professional writer, and here I am, and this is what's happening because of this. And I mean, it really could not have been a lovelier experience. I'm just sharing to you how vulnerable it made me feel inside to be witnessing my words that were just written so
And your
innocently on a page,
imagination.
and my imagination, and to see like things happening because of that. And it is man, it was intense and wonderful, and I feel so fortunate to have met all the people that are involved with it, and the horses, and yeah, it was just quite an experience all around. So cannot wait to see it come
Me neither.
to life, and I cannot tell you how wonderful the crew and the actors were, and like to see their posts online. But yeah, it was an intense experience, and I think going through it was an important step for me, and I'm so thrilled all around that it's coming out.
That's so awesome, Allison. I am so excited for you. I can't wait to watch it.
Thank you.
I think what we're learning as first-time professional writers is that the experience of doing what you want to do is much more complicated than you would have imagined.
Yes, I think that is so well said.
Yeah.
It
Actually
just
doing the
is.
thing you want to do is much harder than just thinking about it.
Yeah, or at
Yeah.
least there's some growth experience. So.
Yeah.
All right, so the construction is starting back up.
So we're going to just bring on our guest.
We're going to bring on our guest because we're going to talk to Jessica Burkhart, who I feel like every week has a new vertical out.
Yeah.
She is so prolific.
So prolific.
And yeah, I think this is going to be a really great conversation.
Yeah. We're really excited to talk to her. So let's bring her on.
All right. We are here today with a woman that I'm very excited to talk with and see off text message,
Yeah.
live
meet for the first time. We have so many questions for you, Jess.
Yes. So I'll read her bio here. Jessica Burkhart is a vertical drama screenwriter and an author of over 30 books and mobile game writer. She's written 12 produced verticals for platforms, including Shorts, ReelShort, and DramaShorts, and also works on localization and script doctoring. And I feel like that bio doesn't even begin to actually cover like all the things you've done. So we're going to get into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, we always like to start with like, how did you get here? How did it all start? What's kind of an overview of the journey, and how did you end up? I mean, I want to know about these 30 books. I want to know about the mobile games. And obviously, we want to know about the 12 verticals. So.
And also, Jess is a horse person.
Yeah.
And so we have to talk about horses.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that.
This is going to be called VertiGals.
Yeah,
Right.
we do. First of all, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I was honored when you emailed and asked me to come on.
Oh my God, we're
absolutely.
so happy you're. We're so happy
It's
you're
like a
here.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's more like, what took you so long?
I'm one of the cool kids now. Oh my God. So I'm fairly new in the vertical space. I've barely been in it for a year.
Well, that's all of us. I mean, some people, I guess, started 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I came over from book publishing. I've been a published author since 2009. I started in college, got an agent, heard about this contest called National Novel Writing Month, and the challenge was to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days. And I'm thinking, I've got time, right? In between college classes. I can bang out a book. How hard can that be, right? It was difficult. It was not as easy as I thought, and I wrote a really crappy first draft of a book.
Which that's still a congratulations at that moment
But I
in life.
had a draft, right?
Yeah.
And there's this famous quote that you can't edit a blank page, and that's one of my favorite quotes ever. So I thought, okay, I have something. Let me work on it. And this novel was called Take the Reins, and it went back to my experience as an equestrian before I had spinal surgery at 14.
Oh my
That
God.
stopped me from riding.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I was in a full scoliosis brace for many,
Oh
many years
man.
that from here to hips,
Wow.
it didn't work. My spine was pressing on my heart, my lungs. I had trouble
Oh my
breathing.
god. Were you born with this or did this happen from an injury or
I wasn't born with it, and they don't really know what causes scoliosis. It's still one of those things that they really just don't know where it comes from. But my case just kept getting worse and worse
wow.
and worse. And I was always in pain and always at doctors. And they thought, hopefully you'll grow out of it.
Mm.
And you wear this brace. It was up to 23 hours a day that I was in the brace.
Wow.
And that's a hard thing to do when you're in middle school. You're around other
Oh
kids.
yeah.
That's awful.
Oh.
Kids are assholes
Totally. Oh,
at that
horrible.
age.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find something that would kind of let me escape. And I just fell in love with reading.
Hmm.
So I was reading all the time, reading the Saddle Club books.
Which I read the whole Saddle Club series as well.
Yes, all 120, I
Yeah.
think there.
Carol, Lisa, and what's the last? Oh my God, I'm blanking on her last person. But yeah, anyways, go ahead. I'll have to look it up. Lori, I don't know.
So I just fell in love with books and stories and thought, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep riding horses after my surgery. And I wasn't because I had two titanium rods and a handful of screws put in my spine. And the doctor said, if you ride again and fall the wrong way, you could break the rod and become
Wow.
paralyzed.
Wow. Oh my god.
So at 14, my equestrian dreams were over. And that was incredibly painful.
Hmm.
Um, and I really didn't know where to go from there. So for 5 years, I didn't want to think about horses. I put all my books away. I gave a lot of them away, all of my horse DVDs and movies and everything. And then it was when I was in college, and I thought, I still love horses
Hmm.
deeply. I can't let this go. So I wrote that first draft of my novel, got an agent, got a book deal.
Like pause there because
Yeah, let's rewind a little bit.
that's
So
amazing. You wrote a
you
book,
yeah, you
edited a
wrote
book in
what you
college.
what you claim. First of all, where did you go to college?
Florida State.
Okay, cool. And you wrote what you claim to be a really crappy first draft, but how bad could it have been if it got you an agent?
It was really, really, really bad. It was terrible.
You wrote what you consider a crappy first draft, and then you sent it out. What
No, you
happened?
you worked on it first.
Yeah, what happened? What happened next?
Yes.
Yeah, so I revised it a bunch, started looking around, going, okay, what are my options here? What do I do with this?
And were you revising it by yourself? Were you in classes? Were you working with a group? How were you doing it?
I was in class and I was revising by myself, just going off of any type of writer, author blogs that I could find that would teach me what I needed to do to revise it.
That's
So at
amazing.
the time, blogging was popular. And so I was writing these blog posts going, hey, I wrote a book that's Mean Girls meets the Saddle Club, and I'm going to be looking for an agent. So exciting, blah, blah, blah. And I got an email from an agent. And I thought, okay, this is a scam. There's no way agents don't reach out to people. That's weird. And it was before I had even started querying for an agent. And she said, hey, your book sounds really good. Do you want to send it to me? So I sent her that really shitty book. And she's like, you know what? I see the potential in it. Let's go through a few rounds of revision and I'll send it out. So we worked on it for about 4 months and she helped me shape it into something. And we sent it out and it sold within 10 days as part of a four
Wow.
book deal.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's
That's
amazing. And
amazing.
is this Canterwood? This is what became Canterwood Crest. Amazing, which I have read. I read for the seventh grader in me, and it's lovely and wonderful, and it made me all happy. And yeah, I love it. So it's a wonderful book. So
Thank you. Yeah,
that's what launched that series. Then
it did. Yeah. And they kept going, okay, well, these books are selling. Apparently, kids really like horse books. So that four turned into 8, 12, 16, 20, and later had a spin-off series. So it's been quite a journey, thinking I'm done with horses. I can't be part of the horse world and not knowing what to do, to really finding my lane and being able to, as cliche as it is, still ride,
Well,
essentially.
yeah, you get to like live your dreams in your imagination almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those 20 or I guess the first 20 are part of the original series and then you've had the spin-off since. Were they all the same characters? Was it challenging to maintain a storyline for that many books? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So the first 12 books in Canterwood Crest had one single protagonist who was the main character, and they followed her. And then when she got to be about 14 years old, we introduced another character who came to the boarding school from her hometown, and she took over for the rest of the series. And in the spinoff, it's 16 years later, and there
Oh,
are other characters at Canterwood that we follow who all have ties to Sasha Silver, the main
Hmm.
character in the first book.
Cool.
So it is a challenge with a series to really carry that many books and get readership to grow. 20 books is
That's
a
a
lot of time to
lot.
spend in one space. But I feel like I had great editors and I was really passionate about what I was writing. And I think that readers picked up on that, that I didn't want those stories to end. And I had a lot of stories
Hmm.
in my head about these characters.
that's fantastic.
And do the stories come from your life experience or do they just come from your imagination?
Both. For Sasha, a lot of the bullying came from mine of
Hmm.
wearing the back brace to school and um, yeah, having a hard time growing up and knowing that, well, I can't live my dream, but maybe Sasha can live hers
Hmm.
through writing. So I'm going to put everything that I wanted to do as an equestrian and live it out through her. And that's where
Hmm.
a lot of the storylines came from.
Okay, wow. So you made a living as a novelist from a very young age, basically.
Yep.
And then the 30 books came out. And how did you find your way into verticals from that point?
No, there's
Sure.
gaming in between.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did, like,
Yeah.
what were those different eras of your writing career?
Sure. So I've always loved romance. And in writing middle grade books, it's very, they hold hands, they maybe kiss once or twice in a book, but you can't really have that expansive romance. And I had a friend who was working at Pixelberry Studios, who does the Choices app, which
Oh, is that where Rachel?
Rachel
Okay,
Dilberg,
got
yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah. So I started writing mobile games for them and just kind of fell in love with that choose your own adventure type format. And that led to me writing for Crazy Maple Studios Chapters
Hmm.
app, and they own ReelShort.
Got it.
So they came to me and they said, "Hey, we have this ReelShort that's really popular, and it's called How to Dump a Hockey Star. And we'd like you to adapt it for us into a game." And they gave me all the scripts for How to Dump a Hockey Star. I studied them and went, "Oh, what is this? What the verticals? What is this? Cool, interesting." And I wrote the game and then thought, "Oh, man, I really love this. I want to try this." So I wrote a few sample episodes of a vertical, started cold querying producers last summer, linked up with Snow Story Productions, and they let me do 3 verticals with them and DramaShorts.
Nice.
So that's kind of how I got in the door.
Oh, interesting. So you actually you pursued the verticals rather than the Choices app leading straight to anything, an
Yes.
opportunity. Oh, interesting. Very cool.
So did you, once you were kind of working for Crazy Maple Studios, were you just like immersing yourself in this world on LinkedIn like everybody else, or what was your process?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. LinkedIn, anywhere that I could really find what was going on. At the time last year, the LA vertical market, they put it online. So Dana had a live stream for it
Mm,
too. So I was checking that out. I was following people who are in the industry and just trying to make connections. And that's really, I think, the name of the game here, right? Like
yeah.
meeting people and talking about verticals and making genuine connections and friendships and learning. And that's what I've been doing so far.
Well, I have to tell you that the first chapter in Canterwood Crest, I felt like it read like a vertical because there was in the best way possible because there is a cliffhanger. There is a big thing that happens in that first chapter. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, she's like, this is her instinct. Like, this is just how she writes, which was fantastic.
Yeah, I think doing a series really taught me how to do cliffhangers because you can't
Mm,
sustain 20 books
yeah.
without them. Like
Yeah.
people are not going to keep coming back if you give them everything that they want or expect is going to happen. So it taught me how to have those mean girl fights and those riding
Yes.
accidents and bad grades and all these things that would upend somebody's life at 13
Mm-hmm.
and then just dialed it up to 100 when writing verticals.
Can you talk about the instinct to like were you immediately when you started watching verticals and writing them, were you immediately like, oh, I just have to dial this up to 100? Was that like something you just immediately picked up on?
Yes, because I grew up watching soap operas. I was a
Mm.
General Hospital girl.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma watched it, my mom watched it, and then I got hooked on it. So I knew that that was kind of an important component to have characters that were having big emotions
Mm.
and to really, yeah, crank those up. And I went, okay, yeah, I've seen soap operas. And at the time, that's primarily the lane I feel like verticals were sort of in, right? They were in like their 1.0 phase, and
Yep.
now we're in like a 2.0 phase.
Yeah. Um, well, I have to say, as far as verticals go, I've watched two of your verticals, and okay, the baking one.
I know. I love
Yeah.
What's
that.
it called? It's
The
the
sweetest
sweetest
challenge.
challenge. Speaking of
Yay.
Phase 2.0, I really loved that vertical.
Yes.
Like that feels. It felt like something that was very easy for me to watch and something I genuinely want. I mean, first of all, it's everything you do is adorable,
I know. It's
and
so
it's like
adorable.
the sweet. It's like I'm so. I wish I could have that gene. You are just like everything you do is just like so whimsical and adorable, and I just love it. And that, first of all, that establishing shot of that bakery, I don't know if you wrote that into the script or if production decided to, but it was just so cute. But the whole, what I loved about it was like, yes, there were big emotions, but it didn't feel forced or frenetic. It felt very much like a scripted,
And
baking show,
funny. It was
and
so
funny
funny.
and cute and like, but it just felt like easy viewing. It
Yeah.
didn't feel. Some of these verticals feel like you gotta work with it. And I felt like you just did such a good job at like making something really enjoyable, sweet, warm, and comforting. Without just telling a wonderful story.
Thank you. I think that comes from novel writing too. And I think a lot of novelists who are looking at this space do have a leg up in that sense on we really understand character progression, I think, because you need that to sustain
Mm-hmm.
a 50, 60, 70,000 plus word novel.
Mm-hmm.
So we're maybe dialing up the emotions, but there's still that underlying core of a character having to go through a journey that's relatable. And those are the kind of stories I want to tell. Like, yes, they're going to be dramatic and they're going to have cliffhangers, but I want my character to really go through a journey
Yeah.
in my verticals, like
Right.
they do in my novels.
Right. And I feel like we've reached, like, I don't know how you feel about Verticals 1.0. I haven't had the experience of writing those, but I do feel like it's changed. And, and
I think so too. We're definitely in a space now where I feel like the fans and the viewers are asking for more complex stories, more
mm-hmm.
complex characters, not the standard stock mean girl who's evil with
Right.
no reason for being evil.
Right.
Like, tell us about her backstory. Why is she so horrible? What happened to her
Right.
to make her this way?
Right.
You know?
Jessica, if you must have fan followers from your novels. Have you gotten any kind of response from them now that you've transitioned to vertical writing? I mean, I'm assuming you're still working on both. Well, first, I guess talk to that. Are you still writing novels, or are you solely focusing on verticals? And then wondering like how your followers feel and whether you've introduced them to this new format at all. That's a lot of questions.
So yes, I am still writing novels. I have a revision due on my most recent middle grade novel. It's A Wonderful Lie,
Mm.
and it is
Ooh.
a sapphic Christmas romance for
No.
middle schoolers.
Ah, I love
Oh,
that.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's kind of like the book of my heart, like two
Oh.
girls who are start as enemies. One is very grinchy and one is very sweet, and they fall for each other and during this planning of a big Christmas ball. And
Amazing.
I have that revision due in a month, so I'm working on that. And my readers they've been wonderful. They've said anything you write, we will follow you. We want to
No.
know what you're doing, and we know that you can bring the drama like you brought in Caterwood. So they are coming with me, and they've been exploring the space too, and that's really special.
Oh, that's so
That's awesome.
cool. Oh, that's
Does that
wonderful.
impact? Have you turned down any sort of writing assignments that maybe, because we, as we know, there are tropes, there are things that happen in the verticals that have been imported here from China that our culture sort of balks against. Have you had to say no or turn down anything with those situations in them?
I haven't had anything come across my desk with some of those tropes
Oh,
that
that's
I would
good.
be maybe a little bit more hesitant to write. So I feel like I've been really lucky. I've been able to write what I want within the framework of verticals, and I've been able to script doctor and localize projects that fit me and fit my writing really well.
Mm.
So, but I'm also, you know, I have my younger fan set from my books, but I've been slowly transitioning my socials, my accounts to be more of an all-encompassing. Like, yes, she is writing 18 plus stuff. Yes, she still writes middle grade books. And, it's kind of a pick and choose what of mine you want to see or read.
That's fantastic.
Are your fans do like okay, the for the middle grade books, like do you find more kids following you? Like I'm assuming that is this the sort of thing where like adults like they've have followed your journey and they stick with you, the people that like they so now you're kind of writing new books for them and they're as they grow up?
Yes, they're having their own kids now, which is
Oh.
kind of mind blowing. And I'm
Cuz they're
like,
going to
I'm
be
the
reading those
crypt keeper,
books.
right? Because they've grown up with me. We've grown up together. I was 19 when I was starting, and they weren't all that much younger at the time. So it's been pretty wild to be in the space now of being a crone in publishing.
Do you feel like there's a future for YA verticals or an
Oh,
option there?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I just released a YA vertical. My first YA was
Oh,
Shorts last
Mhm.
week,
Yep, I watched
and
it.
it's the quarterback's secret princess,
okay,
and
great.
it's really, really fun. And I hope that there is room for more YA because I think that's kind of an undertapped market. Because I know kids and teens are really, they're on their phones as much as we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's give them some fun shows to watch.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, like, I do wonder if at some point as a parent you'd want an app that specifically, you know, um,
Is
had, was
catering to that.
branded that way. Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
coming. I'm pretty
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think that's great though, because yeah, go
No, God,
ahead.
I don't have any thoughts.
No, I did not. I guess the reason I'm saying that is because I actually didn't know that was YA. I need to watch it. And that's good to know. Like, it's good to know that they are out there because I mean, you must be experiencing this too. Like, people come to you saying like, which one should I watch? And I am hesitant to just send them to an app because you could find something that they'd be just appalled by.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have options like that where it's well written.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've when Megan was on our podcast, she sent us her like top 10 and every single one of them was like just really good, just
Mm-hmm.
like really good storytelling. And yeah, they're out there. So I always send people to I send people to two different either say like go on the apps and see what's ranking so you can like see what the people want, which isn't always what the creatives want to see, but it it is
Yeah.
what's ranking. Or I send them to specific ones for different reasons.
Right.
And I have to not forget the sweetest challenge is definitely what I'm going to be sending them to because it was so when people talk about elevating verticals, this is what I think about.
Yeah.
Like this is the sort of thing where it's like it is not tropey in the traditional vertical sense. It's adorable, it's sweet, it's easy viewing. I loved it. It made me feel good. I wanted to go bake.
I mean, I was actually thinking you could turn that into a fully feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd watch it as a feature.
Absolutely.
Also, I love that you write about horses and food. It's like my two favorite subjects.
I also have a food passion. Not so much horses.
What are your goals in this world? Like, what do you hope to either accomplish or like how, when we talk about elevating verticals, what would be elevated in your portfolio?
I just want to tell really good stories
Mm-hmm.
and I want to entertain people at the end of the day. I feel like things are scary. I mean, are they ever not scary? But right now they're really scary here.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to give people just an hour or an hour and a half where they can forget about what's going on and lose themselves in in a character that I've written or a story that I've told and come away from it feeling good. At the end of the day, I just want to make people feel good and make it a good experience. So for me, it's just continuing to work with apps that I like, people that I like,
Yeah.
storytellers, creatives who are all passionate about this and who aren't just doing it because they have to. And
Mm.
I think we've all met people like that. And hey, do your thing, get your bag. But I feel like aligning yourself with people who genuinely like this space
Mm-hmm.
is really important.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm. And I think people who genuinely want to push it forward. That's the other thing. I think people who, the creatives that I'm coming across who are like, look, like, this is great. We're not poo pooing it, but there's a lot of work to be done here. And let's see what we can do because the audience is hungry for this. And there's so many audiences that will want to watch these stories in this way with different tropes and different worlds and different genres. How can we tap into them and really figure out what works? That's
Yes.
that's the most exciting thing for me.
Me too. And I feel like I was really excited by the Vertical Drama Love Fan Awards and then again
Yeah.
by the Apollo Awards because with Vertical Drama, seeing first of all a rom-com win
Yeah.
was huge and
Yeah.
I think really important in saying, hey, yes, people do want rom-coms. I've heard a
Yes.
lot of different people at apps saying, we're not really, the rom-coms aren't working. Well, they are. The fans love them.
Yeah.
And Natalie with Swipe Left, it's seeing that, ooh, we can do something in a thriller-ish space,
Yeah.
and that's going to do well, and people are going to love it.
Yeah, that for the Apollo Awards, what I appreciate, I mean, the fan awards were awesome. And Jess, did you live stream it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was there, and just the energy of everybody, like the excitement, the genuine passion for this space, and the willingness to just get your hands dirty and do this was so inspiring. I mean, I had to go to a birthday dinner after the Vertical Fan Awards, and like I showed up and they were like, "You're glowing," and I'm like, "I know." Like this is just it's so amazing, and for all of these people who have worked so hard to finally get recognition and acknowledgement for like what they're doing and how much they're accomplishing and how many people just love this stuff. It was just so inspiring. And for the Apollo, yeah, like the Apollo Awards, what I do, first of all, huge hat off to Dana for recognizing a writer. I mean, obviously, like, thank you, but like, just the fact that we are recognizing writers now from an
Mhm.
industry perspective, this is really important. Okay. Without us, these don't exist. So
Yes.
thank you, Dana, for acknowledging that we are an important part of this ecosystem. But also what was cool about it for me was like I wrote Swipe Left and I've been rejected from all the traditional apps. Like I don't get work with them. And Allison will tell you like I was writing more traditional stuff at some point because I was just like I just need like work and I need to figure something out and everybody was passing on this thing. And I just got insanely lucky with the cascade of events that happened to got it to this point. But I am really appreciative that there was an acknowledgement for all of these different verticals, including, everybody who was nominated, but verticals like Playback and Pizza Guys versus Vampires, which is totally, and all these indie, like all the indies that got nominated, like showing, that the industry awards are encouraging, like, let's put our heads together and figure out how many things are possible here and how much we can change this. That was really the excitement for me.
Definitely. And I think going into the awards, I was thinking, okay, when these nominations happen, it's probably going to be at the biggest, at the top apps, right? Like the
Right.
ones that are spending all of the money on advertising. But no, we saw smaller apps get
Yeah.
nominated. We saw independent filmmakers
Right.
get rewarded, and I
Yes.
think that's huge and
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah. I agree.
Jessica, how did you first learn to write verticals as far as the structure goes? I mean, obviously there are overlaps with the novels, but there's always also differences. And I'd love to hear about your first experience trying to write one of these.
Sure. So again, it was a first draft that was awful, and I mean that. It was just taking the scripts that I got from ReelShort for how to dump a hockey star and studying them,
Okay.
marking them up, going, okay, what did they do here? What did they do by episode 5? What are their cliffhangers like? Because at that time, there weren't any instruction guides, right? We didn't have any books teaching us how to do this. Um, so it was very much a, okay, I'm going to study these scripts and then I'm going to watch every single vertical that I can. And I feel like we say that all the time in the book world, the best way to learn is by reading other books.
Yeah.
I still think the best way to learn about this is by watching other
Yeah.
verticals.
Right. And reading them. I have to say that like whenever I get the chance to read other people's verticals, it like
Yeah.
kind of
It's hard to get the, like,
yeah,
you're
it's hard to
lucky
get
that
the
you had the
scripts.
scripts because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like you had a relationship with them to begin
Right.
with to get those because it's hard to get them right now. But
Yeah.
eventually that absolutely. I mean, I think reading, especially if you can ever read one that's not produced, so you're actually really reading it without any visuals. Like for screenplays, I feel that way, that it's even more of a learning experience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've been doing some of these localizations lately because I'm trying to learn more about where this all came from, and it's really an interesting experience watching them and then reading them and seeing how differently my brain engages with them from like as a writer. Because when I watch them, it's like there's a lot lost in, I don't know, distraction, whatever, like brain fog. But then when I'm reading it, it's like I'm feeling the mechanics of the scene as it unfolds, and it I feel like I'm always learning when I do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good exercise idea. If you have the script, then, like you're saying, maybe you could even watch the vertical with the script in hand.
Yeah, 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 yes.
And how does your process differ between novels and verticals?
And while you talk about that, can you talk about what novelists get right and wrong about writing for verticals, and the differences between beautiful writing and effective storytelling,
Sure.
We like throwing a lot of questions at you at
all at
once.
once?
The process for me is very similar. It's always starting with an outline. I'm not a pantser type of writer at all. I like to know where I'm going from point A to point B, and I feel like I get a lot of my hard thinking done by the time I actually get to writing because I've thought through everything via the outline and
Mm-hmm.
then it's just about getting it down. And I'm very much I'm just going to bang out this first draft, get through it quickly, and then I'll spend more time cleaning it up type of writer. And there's no right or wrong way to do this, but that's my process and how I do it. And I feel like coming to verticals as a novelist, we really get character desire. I feel like that's our thing. We know what a character wants from the beginning of a novel to the end, and how does that change and how does their journey go? And it's the same thing for a vertical, right? Like, what do they start out wanting? What's in their way? And how are they going to get it? And when they do get it in the end, is it better, worse? Like how is the character coming out of this at the end of the vertical or the end of a novel? And I feel like a lot of times in book writing, we spend time crafting that perfect sentence, right? That one that makes us just feel
Mm.
things and go, "Oh man, that's a beautiful way to put words together." And I feel like in verticals, that does not translate. Like, we want to, in verticals, get people to hit play on the next scene, on the next episode, get to the next one. So it's being very propulsive with writing in a way with a sense of urgency that there may not be in novel writing.
Right.
Because with books, we have all of this room to tell a story and it's going to unfold over these 300 pages. But with verticals, we know what we're competing with for audience attention. And by God, we're going to keep them entertained and hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And every line, I feel like in a vertical cannot be wasted space.
Mm-hmm. I keep trying to like edge in some like poignant dialogue into these verticals just for kind of my own entertainment from time to time. I wrote one once where like it was about a podcaster for one of the platforms, and I decided to dedicate an entire page to her just doing like this monologue. I don't know that it's ever gonna work, but I feel like with verticals, it's like it's if you really love language, it's not it's there's not quite space for it yet.
Well, I feel like the art in writing with verticals is being concise
Yeah. And propulsive is really
and
key.
propulsive.
Propulsive is like, I feel like that is the key word when writing these verticals, is just like get to it. Let's talk about writing for retention, not just for emotion. That's really interesting because so much of this is recreating our viewers' emotional experience through our lead character. So, how do you see the difference there?
I think it's really important, and we've talked about this. I've heard you all talk about this before. Every episode needs to have some kind of reversal or threat or a choice or a
This is
way
Allison's
for
podcast.
a character's emotion to be changed, right? Like you can't go into it and have it being this flat line. Essentially, things have to go up and down and up and down and up and down. And I feel like in novels, you can spend a lot of time with a character in one act, and it's just very on pace and very kind of even keeled. And then you have the big moment where things go wrong, and then you come back down. But I feel like every episode of a vertical is kind of like that. You start out in one place, you peak, and then you come back down. And so you're doing that 50, 60 times throughout a whole series.
You've written for a variety of apps, and the length of the verticals you've written has probably varied quite a bit. From Shorts really only does about 50 episodes. I don't know drama. I can't remember. The DramaShorts one is probably around 65. Is that right?
Yeah, DramaShorts, when I got in, they were wanting to run a little shorter. So they were running at about 50 to 55
Oh,
too.
they were. Yeah. Have you written any of these like 80 episode verticals?
I have not.
Yeah. I'm finding that I'm glad that some of these apps are, saying that yes, we can stop at 50. I mean, let's stop at 40. Like I think that that's like the more. I mean, as far as being propulsive and succinct and getting to the point and all of that, it seems to just lend itself to like let's tie this all up
Yeah.
as fast as possible, right?
Definitely. Yeah, there's no room if you cut it down to 30, 40, 45 for any type of filler episodes. And
Right.
not like there are in a 50, but I feel like when you get up to 70, 80, even back in the day, they had some 90
I know.
um, episodes series. So I feel like then you really run the risk. And people, I think too, trying to get people to come in and watch if they see, oh my God, there are 80
Yeah,
episodes.
when do you have the time? I mean, the screen time, the Issa Rae vertical, they dropped 27 episodes. I sat through it in once, I sat through it. I didn't go get up and go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen. Like, okay, 30 minutes of my time. That's a show. And then they drop the next 30. I think that's like an excellent model for how we can start changing these from a structural standpoint.
I like that idea too. Yeah, giving people a chunk here and then a chunk there instead of maybe dropping all at once. It could be interesting to try and see.
Yeah.
Do you have any feature screenplay ambitions?
I do eventually one day. I think it's just about finding the time,
Mm-hmm.
because right now I'm kind of juggling 4 or 5 different verticals at any given time
Wow.
and doing novels. So one of these days, yeah, I think it would be a really fun exercise, but I'm also completely happy in vertical land.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your schedule like juggling 4 to 5 verticals at a time and
Yeah.
writing a book? What is your day structured like? And do you have any sort of like standard practices that you follow?
So I'm very privileged in that I don't have a 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
and I work from home and I also don't have kids. So
Mm-hmm.
I've built my entire life since I was in college around writing. And that's really all that I've known because I've been doing this for so long. So it's very much okay, I'm gonna get started maybe around 10 a.m. and I'll work until maybe 11:30 at night if I want.
Wow.
Mm,
And if I don't want to, I won't. Then I'll quit at 8. But it's very much my day is focused on writing or on revising. And I love the pace of verticals because I feel like with book publishing, it takes so long to go from idea to getting it through your agent to getting it to an editor to selling it to getting it on shelves. That's 3, 4, 5 years. And with verticals, you're going from a pitch to an outline to a completed script to having it in production, sometimes in a month. And I really thrive on that pace, and that keeps my butt in the seat, I
Mhm.
think, at my computer because it's dopamine. Like,
yeah,
that's a huge dopamine hit, right?
totally.
To like work on something and know you're going to see it on screen, and I want to see it on screen as soon as possible. So that keeps me motivated every day to keep working.
Also, I'm assuming you have active deadlines on all of these projects. Yeah.
I do.
I mean,
Yep.
for me, that's like what I've learned about myself. And I'm somebody who I've written a book that never went anywhere, and I've worked on larger projects, and they come, they go. But with verticals, it's like every time I get an assignment, I panic, and then like I sit down and I get into it, and uh, I've found that the less time I have, the better I am at it because I'm just like focused, nailing it, sending it off.
Same, same. And I'm the same thing. I still get emails with deadlines, and I'm like, you want me to write that by when?
Yeah.
What the fuck? No.
Yeah,
But then, yeah, yeah,
it's always like the initial panic is worse than
Yes.
anything else. And then you just have to like let go and let God. I always I'll like in the 11th hour, I'll just like turn my phone on do not disturb and I'm like whatever. I'm going to have it out by this time so that it's out of my life and I'm going to forget about it and move on.
Yeah, I find I have a couple passion projects that I want to work on, but right now I'm finding that without a deadline, I'm like, well, why do I'm not
You're never going to get it
done right
done. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Awesome. So, okay, you are kind of the dream because you are a full-time career writer. There's so many people who want to do what you do.
I also want my brain to work like your brain. Like it's pretty amazing.
Do you have any advice for people aspiring to do to write?
yeah. I think you have to want it more than you want to do anything else.
Yeah.
I really do at the end of the day. It's hard um, to go from, I write full time in this one area in books, and then I need to switch over to verticals, and then I need to switch over to game writing. And if I wasn't passionate about it, and if I didn't want to fully make my living at writing, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So I think it's wanting it bad enough and putting in the time to learn your craft is huge. I never stop learning. I'm still reading books on how to write novels.
Mhm.
I still take classes.
Mhm.
I still want to learn every single thing I can about verticals. I'm not an expert. I'm new at this.
I think we all are. I mean,
Filling your brain with as many things as you can to keep growing and getting better. And I think that will help a lot of people who want to get into this space.
yeah, totally.
That's great advice. Absolutely.
Especially the learning and studying part. That's a big part of this. It's like you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah, I
be
feel like
willing
the
to.
day that I call myself an expert at something, then I probably need to do something else.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that. And I also really appreciate you saying it because so many of these platforms and producers are coming at us like these are the like tried and true rules. And I just don't believe it. And I think that we're all growing and learning and experimenting, and there's no creativity without experimentation and failure. And continue. And like the most fun thing about working in a creative field is that it's forever interesting and it's forever evolving. And I totally agree with you that you are never going to be an expert on what I think is a reflection of the human experience.
Mhm. Yep.
What I appreciate is that you didn't look down at verticals, that you, even as a published author, you looked at them, you said, there's a craft here. I need to learn this craft. I think so many people sort of see verticals, especially people coming from Hollywood, and they look they look down their noses at them, and a lot of people just think they're easy to write, and
they're not.
they're not.
No, they're not. Well, coming from the book space, I've been looked down upon for almost 20 years now because I write kids' books that are easy
Right.
and anybody could write one of those, right?
I can't write one of those.
No, you can't. There's
Who in the publishing, who would you say looks down on you in the publishing world?
It's people who want to get into the space in writing adult novels mostly, who think that kids' books are just crap.
right.
Think that they don't hold any value or that it takes any type of skill to write for kids. And that is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's its own type of skill, it's its own thing. And when I wanted to pivot and slowly started saying, okay, I also want to write adult novels, that's its own craft. And I've been learning my best to figure out how to do that. Same thing with VertiGals. It's its own thing. And I appreciate the art form for being its very own thing. And I'm not looking down on anything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, Jess, this has been an absolute pleasure and so educational and insightful and interesting, and we so appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have gotten the chance to talk to you offline and
Yes,
gotten
me
to know
too.
you.
You're both so wonderful, and I just applaud you for all that you're doing for this space. And this podcast is my favorite, and I'm so excited to be on it.
Oh my God, you
Thank
are
you.
so sweet. Well,
horse girls
I know.
forever.
Just, writers forever.
And writers, yeah. Okay, fine. Writers too.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for, you are just like such a inspiring person in this space. Thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what other verticals you write, because they're always wonderful and they're just always so fun to watch. And thank you for putting your heart into all of them.
And I can't wait for your book to come out. Your adult book.
thank
I
you.
can't wait to read that. Sounds delightful.
I hope it will be. We shall see.
Yeah.
It will.
All right, Jess, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you in November.
All right, sounds good. See you in November.
Take care.